Hey everyone.
Hey guys, welcome to Obscure MCU. I just got back home from my second viewing of Thunderbolts. I'm going to be covering my thoughts and theories on the movie, and I'll be getting into spoilers as well, so if you haven't seen the movie yet, be sure to come back and watch this after you have, and let me know your thoughts in the comments. This isn't scripted or anything, this is just off the top of my head, so bear with me on this one. Going into this movie, and right after just making that video, if you've been on my channel, you've seen I did a recap recently of just all the characters' journeys. I was relatively excited to see how their chemistry would work and how some of these characters that come from such different places would interact with each other. I felt a lot like Infinity War, seeing characters like Groot and Rocket talking to Steve Rogers. I kind of had that same feeling seeing like Ghost interact with John Walker of all people, so this movie really delivered on that, giving us unexpected chemistry with these characters that actually worked well. A lot of the humor lands, the action and choreography was on point, and just the overall theme of the movie about loneliness and just inner turmoil and how that can lead to certain things and certain paths, and how you have to rely on the people around you to help you out of it and lift you up out of those dark situations. It was very human and very relatable. I know a lot of people deal with things like that, and most times in other movies, when handling like certain delicate topics like this, it can feel pretty forced. I don't know, like not really realistic. I think they did a good job exploring these ideas and these themes without feeling too heavy-handed. And without getting into spoilers yet, Bob, Sentry, Void, whatever you want to call him, maybe one of my new favorite characters in the MCU. They did a really good job establishing him. And I personally know nothing about him because I'm not that big of a comic guy, but I've seen a few videos here and there based on his backstory and his origins. But from what I've seen so far, he's definitely up there. And they did a really good job setting us up for the future and honestly just bringing more structure to this whole multiverse saga, because there's been many different stories across the MCU. You have characters like Moon Knight, Shang-Chi, Captain America, and like many different directions, right? But this one kind of felt like a way to kind of channel it all in, setting us up for Doomsday. So with that being said, I'd say I give it like a 9.5, 9.6 out of 10. It was really, really good. My issues mainly just come from certain characters not getting as much coverage and characterization as others, but I feel like that's kind of expected. But still, it was definitely on point, and one of my favorite movies post Endgame. If I had to just give it an order, I'd say like Spider-Man No Way Home, Deadpool and Wolverine, then I put Thunderbolts right there, and then Captain America Brave New World or Guardians 3 right below it. But yeah, definitely up there for these post Endgame movies. So with that being said, I'm going to get into the spoiler section now. So if you still haven't seen the movie yet, I highly recommend you do. Press pause here and come back later. And be sure to let me know your thoughts in the comments. The new Avengers. I really didn't see that coming. We knew that the asterisk was in the title, so obviously Thunderbolts wasn't going to be the final name. But the fact that they're actually the new lineup of Avengers in the MCU, and not just by name, but officially recognized as such by the government and by the world at large, is just really cool. And this is the first time since like Age of Ultron, Civil War days where the Avengers actually felt like an official organization again, which is something that I was a really big fan of. Seeing them all in the tower again, all wearing the Avengers A on their suits, kind of like how Captain America and some of the Avengers did back in the Age of Ultron days, was just so cool to see. Especially going into Doomsday, there's always been the big question ever since Endgame of who are the Avengers, what's going on, like who are we even going to follow into this fight against Doomsday, and do we care about any of these people? And now after watching Thunderbolts, I 100% do. I'm really excited to see these characters. We know they set up that whole thing about Sam assembling his own team, and I know at the end of Brave New World, he said he was going to go off and do that as well. So we could get like a type of thing with Infinity War where we had multiple groups at once going after the threat. So kind of like how we had Thor, Rocket, and Groot building Stormbreaker in one corner, Captain America and the Wakandans and his side of Avengers doing one thing there, and then Iron Man and Spider-Man and Doctor Strange in space doing their thing. I feel like we're going to get something similar where we'll have multiple groups at once converging on the same threat for Doomsday. And if that's the case, I'm really excited because I can expect Sam's team being Ant-Man, Hulk, Captain Marvel, maybe Thor, depending on where he's at, Wong. I don't even know who else, to be honest, but basically the characters from the post-credit scene of Shang-Chi with the heroes that you would typically expect being one team crossing over with Bucky and his team. I don't know. I'm just really excited to see what's happening going forward. And with the entrance of the Fantastic Four as well. People are saying that this is a spoiler for the end of the movie. But at this point, we know the MCU with their movies and their trailers. They always edit things with the trailers. So I wouldn't be too surprised if it's a bit of a misdirect and they actually do end up winning at the end of their movie. And then a post-credit scene being them going to another universe. You know what I mean? So I wouldn't expect them to lose to Galactus and then just hopping over to the 616 universe. I feel like that's too easy and that's too much of a giveaway. I don't think they'd spoil such a big thing in a post-credit scene. So maybe hold off on the whole, oh, they spoiled Fantastic Four. I don't really think that's the direction they're going in with the movie. But we'll see what happens. But it's been confirmed that this scene was directed by the Russo brothers. So I wouldn't be surprised if we actually see this post-credit scene within the movie. Sort of like what they did with Civil War and like that, a scene from that movie being the post-credit scene of Ant-Man. I wouldn't be surprised if that's the case here, but anyways, the idea of just us finally having an official new Avengers team in the MCU is just so exciting to me. And with Bob still being Bob, it's been 14 months, they said, from the post-credit scene since the end of the movie, so him not being Sentry all this time, I don't know what's going to happen or what's going to trigger him to become Sentry again, potentially unleashing the Void, but I don't know. There's just so many ideas that are flowing through my mind right now. I haven't been this excited after an MCU movie in a long time, so I'm really excited about the potential of where things could go from here. And just to go on about my point earlier about how they handle the characters well, it's crazy how Yelena, Red Guardian, Ghost, US Agent were people that I really didn't care that much about, to be honest, before this movie, but now I'm so excited to see how their stories progress from here. They handled Bucky really well too. There's one scene in particular when they were all fighting Sentry, and Bucky's the last one standing, and he gets up. It's like they gave him a I can do this all day kind of moment. It's like you can really see how Steve's influence on Bucky is being shown in this moment. I could go on forever about this. Really great movie. Let me know your thoughts on Thunderbolts in the comments. I'm looking forward to discussing it all with you guys. And as always, be sure to like and subscribe for more videos coming soon. Thanks for watching.